name is Juri Kasan, and I am a researcher in the Feminist Economics program at the Institute for Economic Justice. So the first summer school started in 2020, and that was about grounding some of the core aspects of social reproduction. The next summer school was about, it was in response to the COVID-19 pandemic and the crisis of care. And this is the third iteration of the summer school, which follows from that. The theme for the third iteration of the summer school derives from a concern with the changing world of work and social reproduction. I think in a post-COVID world, there's been a huge need to recenter social reproduction, but also to place it in conversation with the realm of production.
So my expectations of the summer school were that I would improve my knowledge base, my understanding of feminist economics, and just ensuring that I can contribute more meaningfully to budget work by understanding it through a gendered lens.
I applied to the summer school because I am a feminist. I saw that it resonated with my understanding as a person and also with the work I do, because as a junior trade policy advisor, we sometimes work with women and trade, which is something that's integrally linked to feminism.
My primary interest was to deepen myself into a variety of issues and understand the lived experiences of women. I'm primarily interested in issues to do with land, especially issues around extractivism.
We need to move out of our comfort zones to see what is happening differently in our world. And with my world, which is the trade union movement, I already know a lot about what happens there, but what are other people who are not in the union movement thinking and doing? So this offered me a good opportunity to actually come to also conceptualize the work I do and how it speaks to people's research.
So the summer school forms part of a larger project called the Communities of Practice, and our intention is to actually grow a community of feminist economists who are challenging orthodox economics and are integrating some of the more radicalized approaches to economics, and also to include those from the social sciences, climate activists.
I've been able to learn from experts in the field, but also from other participants from not just my own context, but from all over the world, especially like other contexts in the continent. And I've been able to learn what works really well in academia and from an academic perspective, but also from a policy perspective, and what could work better.
All the sessions are changing my work as we speak, because we do a lot of things in the union, and all the sessions have something to contribute to the work we do.
My session was with the informal sector, where we as activists had to act as politicians, and then we had to rally around people in the informal sector. So we brought out our views, what we'll do, we wrote our manifesto, and then the whole thing was interesting and it was interactive. There was no down moment.
I appreciated it when Prof. Fakir spoke about Jacqueline Koch's work, The War Against Ourselves. It was a good reminder that we are not a part of nature, we are part of nature. When some research we read tells us that by 2030 we'll be facing an oil crisis, it makes you think about what we've done to the environment and how we need to think about ways to amend our relationship with nature.
My favorite session would probably be Kayat Fakir's session. I felt like the way she spoke and everything that she spoke about was very meaningful. I feel like she really allowed us the space to reconceptualize social protection and unlearn what we have learned before.
Starting with that original conceptualization of Marx about this whole notion of reproducing labor power wasn't satisfactory, right? We don't produce, invest, etc. in children to create workers. There are all kinds of other relations that go into social reproduction. There are all kinds of other perceptions of this work that I was doing, or this work that we are so interested in.
what resonated with me the most was the session about the informal economy. I've been doing some work in the informal economy, but I learned how it's important to treat informal workers differently, right? Because we tend to just group them as one, but essentially they all have different needs. So it's a very nuanced field.
One of my personal highlights from the summer school is just convening some incredible minds in the same room, so many of which are thought leaders in my opinion, so many are role models for me, and it's just incredibly exciting to have them converse and debate with one another. The last highlight for me is just it's enriched my own personal intellect in so many ways. I think that provides an incredible opportunity to center social reproduction and care, which often isn't really placed at the center of discourse.
So while I've been here, the contribution that the summer school has made to my PhD has really solidified my overall argument, which is something that takes really long to do, and I feel like this summer school has allowed me to solidify what I want to do with my PhD and where I want to take it within advocacy and policy work.
My experience as a returning participant has been amazing because it's been a build-up from what we did last year. So I was able to grasp a lot of concepts because I was familiar with a lot of things that we did from last year. So it was like a continuation from last year's summer school.
This summer school will contribute into my work in the sense that issues to do with social reproduction are primarily related to undermining struggles by rural communities generally. In particular, women. We tend to see women being at the forefront of fighting the state and extractive companies. So I think this will help my research.
I have met some incredible people, both in the speakers, in the delegates, just getting advice on everything from PhDs to work-based instruments to just personal advice. It's been really incredible to connect with like-minded young women, even young men, and it's just been a wonderfully welcoming experience meeting everybody.
We need, as feminists, as budding researchers, we need to think about making meaningful contributions to social policies which are geared towards true progress, towards true change, as opposed to social policies which continue to reproduce conditions where women are at the periphery socially and economically.
What I want to say is to extend gratitude to IEJ for actually conceptualizing something like this. There are a lot of opportunities out there, but there's nothing like a feminist opportunity for activists within the African sub-region, and this is great because it offers us a space to talk to each other, to share what is happening at our country level, to better influence policies, not just in our countries, but at the sub-regional levels as well.